Hello fellow Minecraft fans, welcome back to another episode of Mythicraft with me, Mythology5. And today I'm just doing a quick video about Megabases, because obviously Grian made some videos a little while back. If you haven't seen those, definitely worth checking out, they're really cool, about how to make a Megabase. And I actually had some thoughts on that and a different approach for those of us like me who do not have a million hours to spend building those all the time. So I thought I'd make a video about that. Let's start out by just looking at some previous bases that I've built, and I'll point out to you some very key things. Well, one very key thing. So if you look at these two bases, I like both of them, they're great, however, neither of them is finished, like at all. They're both like half done, but unfortunately, that's when the season ended for each of those, so I had to stop there because, yeah, it was time to move on. So, today I'm explaining what my new process is to build bases so that they don't end up like that, just half completed and left behind. So basically, the key to this concept is to build it, the entire base, in manageable chunks that are expandable and just basically you can stop at any point and it's complete. Not like any single point, but each section of it is a little area that you complete sequentially, and you can just keep adding on more and more and more until you either run out of time, motivation, or whatever. And that way, the base is always complete no matter what point you stop at. For example, with my base for Season 3, I have a castle where part of it was just a single tower that I built. And technically, if I wanted to stop there, I could have. That tower could use a bunch of improvements and stuff. I could make it look really nice, and then just leave it at that. But I decided I'd make a big area next to it, so I set out the outline for it, and I built that castle also. And so now, technically, if I wanted to, I could stop there, and I might. But there's just room for additions around the entire thing. It doesn't have to be done right now, but it can be if I want it to be. And so this basically is just a way to help you stay focused and interested in your build and know that there's really no pressure to keep building if you don't want to keep building. Just get each section done, and if you're happy with it as it is and you don't really feel like building anymore, great, it's already complete, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you do want to complete more, then there's plenty of room to do that and you can go do it. And so then there are also a couple just quick tips, I guess, on ways to do it even more efficiently that just help with that I've figured out along the way. And so the first one is just collect all the resources you need right at the beginning, or the resources you're going to need for each section right at the beginning of each section, so that you can just keep building, because stopping construction halfway through, going and doing something like collecting resources and then going back, like sometimes you'll either forget about something or you'll just lose motivation to work on that area or stuff like that. It's happened to me in the past, and it's just easier if all this stuff's ready at the beginning so that you don't have to worry about that as you're going. Another thing is to make the building shape, or whatever the construction you're making, the base, make it look interesting as you're going, not necessarily detailing per se, but just make the structure itself be unique and interesting in shape, so that technically detailing is going to obviously help it for sure, but it's not like 100% necessary to detail every single part if it's already got an interesting shape to it. And this isn't saying that you shouldn't detail it even more, this is just saying that for the base level of completion, you don't, well, base being the lowest level of completion here, you don't need to make it the most detailed thing of all time, because if you're happy with it as it is, then just leave it as it is. That's what it is. It's your build, it's your base, you can do whatever you want with it. And then finally, my last tip would be to test your general idea out in a creative test world before building it in survival, because, I mean, you don't want to build some massive thing and then be like, oh, well, that didn't come out great. Should have tested that, because yeah, color palettes, general structure, shapes, everything like that, it's great to test it out beforehand, but personally, I like to just freestyle my builds, where I just go with it as I'm going, and if it's looking good, keep going like that. If it's not, get rid of that part, get back on it with a different project, or different version of the same project. And so, basically, you don't need to build the entire thing in creative and then rebuild it in survival. You can, if you'd like. That'll definitely make it more specific, but personally I don't really like building the same thing twice, so if I've built it in creative, I just lose a ton of motivation to rebuild it in survival. So it's better for me personally to just build little sections of it and then combine them all together in survival rather than just to rebuild something I've already made from creative into survival. But that's just me. You might like to rebuild the whole thing, and that's perfectly fine. That's up to you. So hopefully this video has been helpful. It was just a nice quick one on how to do different base things and just kind of a different approach than what Grian showed in his videos. Obviously his is also a great approach, slightly different from what I do, but definitely a good method. So that is all we have time for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I would greatly appreciate it if you left a like and subscribed or commented or any of those kind of things. So, see you in the next video. Have a nice day. Bye.